Are you thinking about building an ADU? Think again. So I'm going to share some personal consequences that I faced from building an ADU and some other reasons I think you should consider before building an ADU. As always, thanks for tuning in and watching my videos. I do my best to make valuable content for you. If you do like real estate education and wealth building tips, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Okay, let's dive in. We got a summary of the 5 reasons. Number 1, living in a construction zone. Number 2, neighbors. Number 3, it could cost a lot of money. Number 4, what if you don't actually like the result? And number 5, you don't want to maintain another property or manage and be a landlord. Reason number 1, if this is your primary home, you're going to be living in a construction zone. And so if you haven't lived in a construction zone, let me tell you what it's like. Be ready for loud noises. Be ready for dust, dirt. The main thing is a lot of loud noises. And then for us, right, there was a lot of materials that were just dropped off in our front yard. Our front yard got torn up for trenching. If you watch my other video, there's actually like a lot of footage of the construction zone, so you'll be able to see it. And so for us personally, we had a newborn during our ADU construction. So a lot of our naps were cut short. Our dog was barking a lot because they would have like a bobcat going back and forth, digging up dirt. You're hearing like loud hammer noises on wood. That's something to consider, right? You're going to be living in a potential construction zone for, 6 months to a year, maybe more. Now, obviously, if you are building an ADU on your rental, this doesn't matter at all. But if you're building an ADU on your primary, keep this in mind. And for us, we thought, well, 1 year of living in a construction zone will be worth it when it's done. Reason number 2. This was also a personal consequence for me. My neighbors definitely did not like living in my construction zone. Now, if it was their construction zone, I think they'd be cool with it. But because it was my ADU and not theirs, they were not happy about this. One of my neighbors who I have a good relationship with was pretty cool. He texted me and would say, "Hey, can you please ask your contractors to not work this early?" To my contract, and my contractor's response was, "Technically, we're allowed to by law," but I said, "Hey, it is like a weekend. It's early. Please just let's keep it cool. Let's keep it civil." But he also mentioned to me a lot of the other neighbors did not love it, but they didn't say anything to me. And then, funny enough, one of my other neighbors put a small batting cage in their backyard with a automated pitch machine, which ironically did not bother us at all because we didn't really hear it, but that really bothered the other neighbors. And apparently they put the batting cage in to spite us, I guess. I don't know. I probably did not act as a good neighbor because I probably could have let them know. But in the end, building an ADU could cause some tension because reason number 1, right? You're living in a construction zone, but now you're also making your neighbors live in a construction zone. So maybe get them like a nice little coffee gift card or something before you do it and just give them a heads up. Reason number 3, and this I think is the biggest reason for most people, the cost to build an ADU. Now, the cost of building an ADU could vary quite a bit. I have another video about the cost of building an ADU. I've actually gotten some emails from people asking for a referral to my contractor because the quotes that they're getting are like 2 or 3 times more expensive per square foot. I would consider these things when it comes to cost. A lot of people take out, a HELOC or a second mortgage. I would recommend, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would just say, don't over leverage yourself and lose your house just to build an ADU. And make sure that if you do want to build an ADU, you budget appropriately and you plan ahead and factor into that budget some overrun. So with construction, sometimes there's delays in materials, there's changing prices in cost for certain materials. Just factor in a little bit extra to make sure that you don't run out of money and you can complete your ADU. On that note, drop a comment and let me know how much you think it costs to build an ADU. Okay, so reason number 4 that you might want to consider. This didn't happen to me because I love my ADU, but a lot of it, I got a lot of professional help. But what if you build an ADU and it doesn't meet your expectation? Unless you have like a construction or design background, the finished product might not turn out exactly how you expect, right? Or it might turn out a little bit different than you imagined it even from the plans. this one's just something to consider, and it's, it didn't happen to me, but I do feel like it could be a real shame if you spent all this time, money, energy to build this ADU and it just is something you don't actually like. Another thing to consider about meeting the right expectations is like, what if you build this thing and it doesn't rent out for as much as you thought it would? Now, obviously, if you're just building it for family, you're building it for personal use, the rental portion doesn't matter. Okay, and the last reason number 5, is there will be additional maintenance and potential management, right? So maybe you thought you wanted this ADU to generate additional revenue or income, and then you become a landlord and you actually hate it, right? Or now you actually have to you actually have to take care of another property. In theory, it should be brand new, right? Because everything's new built, so there shouldn't be a lot of maintenance, but it could happen. So just a quick summary, right, of the 5 reasons I don't think you should build an ADU or potentially shouldn't. 1, living in a construction zone. 2, neighbor relationships. 3, cost/money. 4, it might not meet your expectations. And 5, you don't actually want to be a landlord, or you don't want to maintain another property. So thanks for watching this video. And as always, if you do have questions, I'm available by email. And so I did create a new website and a new email. So here's my new email. It's Darren, my name, at realdarrensci.com.